history of ours.
Tehran is the latest and the largest capital city in the 7,000-year history of Iran. In 1788, Agha Muhammad Khan, founder of the Qajarid dynasty, made Tehran his capital, inaugurating the modern history of Tehran. At this time, Tehran's population was estimated to be 15,000. Under the Qajarid dynasty, Tehran grew in population and size, and new administrative buildings, palaces, mosques, and houses were constructed. With the decline of the Qajarid dynasty, Tehran soon took the shape of a modern city. The city's old architectural fabric replaced by a modern one. Today, there are few places remained from that era, which are the jewels in the crown of Qajari architecture.
This house belonged to Mirza Hasan Khan Pirnia, who assumed the title of Mushir-ud-Dawla, someone who served 4 times as a prime minister during the Qajar era.
The House of Pirnia was donated to the Ministry of Health and Medical Education, and today is being used as the Research Institute for Islamic and Complementary Medicine. Ms. Soleimani is the PR person of this institute and a passionate employee who knows a lot about this beautiful house and people who lived here back in the old days.
ساختمون پیرنیا مشیر-الدوله ترکیبی از مهندسی مؤلفه های اروپایی غربی هست با اون سازها و فرهنگ ایرانی که ما میتونیم که همون اندرونی بیرونی رو بهش اشاره بکنیم. ستون‌هایی که در این ساختمون می‌بینید، ستون‌ها در بخش ورودی سالن اونجا بیشتر حکم تزیینی رو داره، ولی در ایوان بالایی در واقع این سنگینی ساختمان رو در واقع تحمل میکنه.
Inside the house is decorated with marvelous and huge wooden stairs and very high ceilings, which I believe are the signs of power and dignity of the people who lived here. We talk about dignity because Mirza Hasan Khan Pirnia is the one who stood up and prevented the introduction of the shameful and hegemonic Anglo-Persian agreement of 1919.
I'm getting goosebumps because I was told that the first constitution of Iran was actually drafted in this house. So you can consider this place as one of the birthplaces of democracy in Iran.
Apart from politics, Mirza Hasan Khan had so much passion for Iran's history and culture. And that's why he helped to establish the Institute for Preservation of National Heritage. And I'm pretty sure he's resting in peace, knowing that today his magnificent house is a great piece of our national heritage. Well, recently I figured out that it's not only me who have so much passion and love for the history of my city. There are lots of Tehranis who are indeed culture and history enthusiasts, and they even form weekly tours to go and visit less known and kind of hidden historical places.
Qajar dynasty ruled Iran for almost about 140 years, and they have done many harms to our country, but they left some magnificent piece of architectures. And I'm not talking about Golestan Palace or Niavaran Palace. I'm talking about some great houses, like this one, the House of Mustafa al-Mamalik.
Mustafa al-Mamalik was an Iranian politician who served as Prime Minister of Iran on 6 separate occasions. During his service to Iran, Mustafa stood up to British and Russian influence in Iran, especially during World War I, giving credence to his reputation as a person of character and integrity. He spent 7 years in Europe, where he visited many different countries, and that's exactly where he got his passion for European architectural styles. Victorian-style plasterworks on the interior columns and beautifully painted ceilings with colorful butterflies can hypnotize any visitor for hours. This is the first Western-style house in the old Tehran, which was built about 120 years ago. It is being said that Mustafa al-Mamalik brought a postcard from France and asked architects to build this house according to the photo on that card. You remember at the beginning of this feature I mentioned the jewels in the crown? Well, Our next stop apparently is the most valuable jewel of the crown. Just be careful because you may not believe your eyes. Architectural decorations in the Qajar era show the pinnacle of art in the decorations of the time. Colored sash windows, lattice work windows, plaster molding, and mirror work, elegant wall paintings, and finally the type of wonderful house architecture arouse admiration of every spectator.
I'm speechless and just mesmerized by the beautiful wall paintings here. And I'm just wondering who lived here.
This house belonged to Qajarid, who was an official, worked for many different Qajar kings. The owner was not as important as the two previous prime ministers we talked about. But honestly, considering the interior decorations and the artworks, his house outranks the two previous Qajar houses. Shahryar Azimi for Iran.